Hi. So, Disney's Palpatine, a corpse or a clone? Even the question itself is funny. Let us explore both bad options in gritty and bizarre details, and I know what lore says, but the book is, in my opinion, a feeble attempt at damage control, and its credibility is conditional and shady at best. The rise of Skywalker was a mess. Everyone knows it. They tried to salvage what was left, rebuild some sort of narrative backbone, and patch the continuity Rian Johnson ruined deliberately, as some sort of mischievous child. Then J.J. Abrams shoved every leftover idea into one messy, overstuffed film. With Snoke gone and Kylo's half-baked redemption arc going nowhere, they had two bad choices. Introduce a new villain out of thin air, or bring Palpatine back. Both options were bad, but Ian McDiarmid is iconic and the only consistently entertaining part of the sequels, so I get why they did it. I would probably do the same. The problem is, bringing him back creates a pile of continuity contradictions, but we won't go into all of that now. There is a more basic question that is actually more interesting. In The Rise of Skywalker, was Palpatine a corpse or a clone? They didn't specify because they couldn't. Any concrete explanation would collapse immediately under its own weight and would give even more ammo to hardcore fans to keep bashing these movies for decades. Still, they left clues in both directions. Corpse theory. Why it doesn't work. If this was the original body from Return of the Jedi, then the story requires us to believe he survives falling down a reactor shaft and the explosion of an entire space station. Sith loyalists retrieve his body and keep it running on life support for decades. That would explain his burned, corpse-like look to some degree. But at this point, if the heart of an exploding Death Star cannot put this creature under the ground, what would it take? Dipping him into an active volcano? Plunging him into the heart of superluminous supernova? What did you bring to duel, hero? A lightsaber? Please, go home in peace while you can. So was he like a completely charred, horrific crusted corpse in the beginning, regenerating slowly, sucking his minions dry? That would actually be a decent horror movie, which we will never get, because the toys, because they need more money. Cloning should be a simpler explanation, but it raises its own set of entirely different issues.
Cloning? Secrets only the Sith knew.
If this is a clone hosting his consciousness, why does the body look like the already damaged Return of the Jedi version? It's been 30 years since his alleged death. New clone should be at the zenith of its power and good looks. Did they clone his grandpa? He was a grey-haired man in his 50s when we saw him first on Naboo as senator. This is 30. Think blonde hair, six-pack, British accent, and a scoundrel charm. Have you seen this guy? Yep, that's him. This is what Palpatine's Sith training was like. I think that temptation of join me would ring differently with our young Rey. And if this is a clone, is it the first one? It's implied that he's an ancient reincarnating Sith evil, but it couldn't be as long. He did have a canon master, if anyone cares about that anymore. He was 17 when he murked the Plagueis off. He was 88 at the time of his alleged death. So all that technology and power amassed just in a lifetime. Not bad, Palpy. So we got our new old Schrödinger's Palpatine, dead and alive, original and copy, whatever the plot needs him to be at the moment. Whatever, Ian McDiarmid is just so good. He and Adam Driver were carrying the franchise at that point. But the plot? Oh my god, the plot. If you think about it, Palpatine really didn't have a plan. First, he takes on Kylo as an apprentice and tasks Kylo with killing Rey. You can tell he was disappointed when he betrayed him and after Leia redeemed him. Then he brings in Rey, claims it was his plan to bring her to Exegol all along, even though he honestly didn't need Kylo Ren to do that, as she was looking to get to the Exegol anyway. And then he realizes, oh hey, Force diet energy I can absorb to remake my body and do everything myself. He honestly was just going along with everything with no true plan here. This same guy toppled a republic after decades-long plot and turned the chosen one to the dark side after years of grooming him. This pisses me off so much. Also, the movies just gloss over how he had a child as an old monster man, looking like this. The sequel canon treats this like a normal footnote instead of a massive question mark it actually is. Excuse me, what the F? Now I need a spin-off where Jovius Palpi courts a young senator.
Being your husband would make any man happy.
Enchanted by his power and not disgusted with his looks. I mean, what woman would possibly... You know what? I retract my bewilderment. This is not far-fetched at all. So officially, he was a bad clone in a bad movie, spitting a bad lines of pathetically devised plan. But at least he does it with style. Hats off to you, sir. You will always be our emperor. So this was just a question that popped into my mind recently. And I don't know about you, but I barely remember this movie. Is it just me? Am I old? Did the copious amounts of booze, substances and age finally caught up with me? Or this movie was just bad? Why not both? Probably both. See you next one. PSYHODAD out.
Will you see the lightning's eyes? Will you love the lightning and take it into your heart?
When the lightning strikes, will you be ready?